Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final episode of my SQL class. I'm sure it has been a we've all had a wonderful experience, right? A wonderful learning experience. Let me put that way in quotes. Is a learning experience. We have gone through ignore. I think, yeah, ignore. So we've gone through SQL from the beginning to yeah. So if I remember correctly, we basically touched everything. Look, the important things we need to know about SQL. And so I want to believe that at least everyone has tried to see what is in the folders. Maybe there are any file missing. You have gone to the folder, you have gone to the file, the SQL materials, or you are currently going through them, right? So it's very important. Even if you have gone through it before, it wouldn't hurt to go over it once again, right? I think the more you see something, the more it stick better to the brain. I think, yeah. We've done a lot about SQL. So by now, or with the extent we have gotten to, um, if you've watched all the videos, you should be able to handle a simple data analysis with SQL. You should be able to do uh, if it's just basic, right? Like you can see an SQL script and you can tell, oh, this is what this should be doing, right? It might not be not should I it might not be precise, but it should be close to it. It should not be that, oh, I'm saying this and I'm like, Jesus, what's this? What am I saying? How am I saying codes, right? So it's something that we should now be able to look for. We should be able to look. We should be looking forward to. Oh, some people having issues with SQL scripts. Bring it. Let me see what it looks like. Like that's what I believe we all should be looking forward to. And also, there was a practice quiz that I attached, right? So I just want everyone to go through it. There's also a form for you to submit your SQL queries. So I want everybody to go through it and try to do whatever they want to do. And to that, um, I want to change the screen that I'm sharing. So just 1 second. I can't do that easily. Yeah. So I want to go to my browser. So today we're supposed to go into Power BI, Power Business Intelligence. Sorry, hold on, I'm coming. Power BI, brave, share, share. This is it. No, this is not it. Sorry, 1 second. Looking for my screen. Come on. Oh, not this. This is disappointing. Sorry, just 1 second. It's okay. Okay, should be up now. Oh no, what's going on? I don't intend to share this screen. This is confusing. Uh, they all have the same name. It's not this. I have no, I can't find it. It's not this one. Okay, I guess something is wrong with me upstairs. Oh, I can't share this window. What? That's serious. Okay, so what I'll just do is let me change this. It's not allowing me to share my current window, so I'll just re-strategize and it should give me that as an option. Yep, yep. Now it should be visible. Is this? Yep. Now here it is. So let me just try to see something. Move Power BI 32 tab. Okay, now good. So can you guys still see my screen? Oh, you're only seeing. You're still seeing this. Holy crap. Okay, so while I'm still trying to figure this out, so I'll just go straight. Like I'm wasting time on this. Um, so what is Power BI? So I'm sure some of us have here you've heard a lot about Power BI. Some of us might even have started using Power BI to do one or two things, right? That's a possibility. So in general, so Power BI is a a visualization tool um that is meant for visualization. So basically, it's meant to you're meant to visualize with it. I'm just trying to share everything. Share. So it's a visualization tool that is specifically for visualization. Of course, let me see. I'm pretty sure my whole screen is being projected. Okay, yeah, it is. So it's a visualization tool that is actually meant for specifically for visualization. If you remember Excel, when we were treating Excel, we did something around creating dashboards, right? So that was something that if you used Power BI or if you have used Power BI, it's you would have more possibilities. You have more functionalities. So basically, that's just a an overview of what Power BI basically is. Now, of course, another question is why Power BI? There are other tools like the rest of the ones we have been working with. There's Power BI, there's Tableau, there's okay, Microsoft owns Power BI. So the equivalent for Google is Google Looker. Of course, they call it used to be Data Studio, right? But it's now called Google Looker. So there's Google Looker, there's Tableau. I think that's the three I know. Azure, sorry, AWS, that's Amazon. They also have their own visualization tool, but the most known, let me put it that way, is Power BI and Tableau, right? And the reason why I will be picking Power BI, of course, if it was my choice, I wouldn't want us to use Power BI because Power BI, first of all, I can't use Power BI in my system. I can't install Power BI because I'm on Linux system, which is bad for me already. So I have no option but to opt in for their cloud service. So I currently have an account, a Microsoft account, and that's how I'm able to use this basically. So after cleaning your data, you have worked on it in SQL, you have done some things, you have extracted. I think in the last class we did something around exporting. After merging the data, if you want to do that, want to go to that route, you can export them, right? So so here we have Power BI, and here with Power BI you can create beautiful um visualizations, beautiful presentation beyond your imagination, right? Like okay, so currently this is I'm on the cloud service, and I can see some work. It gives me access to some work that I've made on. Probably by next week, I will try to find a way to get maybe another system or find a way around it to install Power BI. Anyways, so but for now, me, I'm stuck. I'm stuck with this. Of course, I have the level. I have this already, or should I say it's what come with the cloud service. I think it comes with the local installation. We'll go through that in a bit, but I just want to show you Power BI, how wonderful it is, like the tools, the amazing things you can do with it. So currently, these are just some analysis um, that was already done, that have been done already by people, by users, and decide to share it. For instance, you can see this is like a cancer statistics in the USA. So let's explore this. Alright. So one thing, just pay attention to the fact I said you can create beautiful, amazing visualizations. That's one of the key things um, around um, Power BI. So coming, so it's taking a while. Yep. So here is our visualization. So as you can see, this is um, a statistics. This is just an analytics dashboard, right? So about cancer in the USA, so United States of America. So on this so this was created, right, by someone, of course. So one of the things that is cool about this is that it is interactive, right? So for instance, I'm seeing Oregon, I'm seeing Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, South Dakota, Nebraska, I can over on it. Of course, we have this in Excel, but if I click on it, it's going to highlight this and give me results based on what I have clicked. So you can see that everything else is grayed out, right? Only this part is showing. So in Colorado, you can see everything we adjust to Colorado's details. So right now you're seeing 3 million people. You're seeing the distribution of the male and the female. You're seeing the major age group. You're seeing the infants affected, right? So now if I try to change this and I click here, so you can see that everything has changed. I can see male, female, that's now increased, right? This has also changed. And so you can use that to just move around. This is like a map, right? This is something we'll get to do. Also, you can also, now to undo this, all you have to do is just click on it black and everything resets. So you can see in total now you had 743 million. But if you click on this, you see that everything changes to 2 million, everything adjusts to the data of this particular location. So let's undo this. And now this is not the only thing. There are other tabs. For instance, if you look at this now, this is also connected to the cancer analysis dashboard. So now this is saying like by sites. So you can see I don't know if you can see this, but I'll just try to increase this a bit so I can move around with my mouse. Yeah, so you can see this. So yeah, you can see prostates, female breasts, lung and bronchus, colon and rectum, cancer type sites, all cancer sites combined. You also have this, right? You can see pancreas. So also if you click on this, you see that everything else will change. You see the male, the distribution of the male has changed. Okay, let's look at it again. So I've undo it. Okay, the male is not changing. I think here, prostates. Okay, sorry. This is the part of the data that is being affected. So the incident rates, you can see yes, tracking the incident rates, which is 32 million. So you can see the distribution of the data for each um, rates. Also, if you check here too, the mortality rate, so I think that's the rate of the death rates, right? So you can see here is also changing, it's also being adjusted. Then when you now change to the age and you check the age, um okay, it's taking it, okay, yeah, so here it is. So look at the total mortality rates, um total incidents. We have the just like what we had on the previous data anyways. So we are having it here. So you can see that with this, it's just the fact that it's even interactive is mind blowing, right? You can interact with it from anywhere in your data, anywhere. It's not restricted. You can click on one part and everything else is changing. That's one of the importance or the amazing thing about this. And also you can um so here is just a table, like just to filter. So if I click this, everything's going to be filtered. So you can now see that this has changed, more of like a selector. What's it called in? I've forgotten what it's called in Excel. Something like, I can't remember again. So yeah, that's one of the important things, anyways, around um around Power BI. We can even explore that data. So I'm just going to click on Home, right? And we could check another data. We could see, oh, COVID-19 cases. So just hold on, waiting for it to load. Yeah, data and network, right? Since I'm on the cloud, I'm using, and my internet is working for the video call and it's also trying to load data. So it's a bit large. So okay, it's almost here. So just loading bit by bit. And all these are built just basically from data sets. You can pick a data set and bring it to Power BI to visualize with. That's one thing that is really exciting, right? So it happens that this has a lot of um, data. So let me see. Let me click. I think it has not loaded finish. So everything is still loading. So you can see here, right just before everything comes up, you can see already we have about 27. Okay, I clicked on USA, that's why it changed. So I'm just going to click so you can pick it. So you can see that we have about 27 million confirmed cases. So this is like around the world. I think if you check, you should be able to find Nigeria here. Yeah, good. So you can see Nigeria. This is Nigeria. This data is very, very large and it's draining my system. Probably because I have a lot of tabs open anyways. So this is like one of the advantage of using it. If I was running it directly on my system, it wouldn't uh take this long to load. Okay, I was expecting something to be, there's supposed to be a map here that is not currently there. Um there's a lot. Okay, so maybe we'll come back to, okay, so this is another type of um what do I call it? Another type of plots. This is more of like I wouldn't call it, I could call it a trend plot, right? It shows the trend over, for instance, now you can see from the days since 200 case confirmed, right? So this is like 300 days, 250 days, 200 days. So you can see the country and how they tally. So you can see the ones showing up here are like the top, the ones that come out, um the ones where we have the highest case, let's put it that way. And so you can see United States, India, you can see the way India even came up, right? There are some states that were so high before, for instance now, all of them were all increasing, right? But suddenly countries like um I don't want to listen to show. Countries like Ireland was able to, they came all the way here. So this means that their cases was no longer increasing, right? But that's over the number of days they found a way to reduce their case. But if you look at a country like USA probably increased and kept on increasing and kept on but later they started controlling their case. It wasn't like straight up. India, I think they also, though if you look at it, it took long for them to. actually rise. So that means they had low, their cases were not as worse as United States. So basically, there's, I think, can also see deaths, right? I think we just leave this data. This data is too large. Okay, you can see island. Oh, sorry, this country. See China. China started from here, so their case was so high from the initial point. But also they found a way to reduce it. Like it was after a few days, and it got to like a point where it was no longer increasing, although it increased a bit. And yeah, I think we should leave this data. We should run away from this data. It's slowing down my system. I think there are other small ones we could look at. I think I've opened that before. Oh yeah, I think this should not be large. This should be something very small. So basically Power BI is fun. And one of the fun thing about it is you won't be writing too much queries like we did with SQL. SQL was basically just queries. That was the only thing about SQL, was just queries. We were just supposed to write queries. Tito, I saw that. I saw you clapping right now. I'm sure you're very happy. No more queries, right? So, Power BI is mostly about drag and drop. Even in Excel, you get to write formulas, right? You get to write things like that. But Power BI is basically one tool that is very sweet. Yes, I use the word sweet. Very, very, very sweet. I'm sure people like Tito will enjoy it. So it's very easy to interact with. So this is one beautiful. I'm even like, for me, it's so beautiful. Like, right? So this is having a lot of details. You can see, if you remember when we tried creating dashboards in in Excel, we had a lot of trying to do some things, do bring after you first do your pivots, you first get your data, clean it, then do pivots, then from pivots you do dashboards and all of that, right? Like I feel like Power BI would have made it, your work is much easier with Power BI, but we had to go through that. We had to go through Excel first, right? Knowing how to use the Excel tool, because one thing is the requirements. When you get your data, you need to clean it to some extent. You need to be able to see what it is to some extent. Not all data can just be taken and push into. In fact, when you get to work with some companies, you find the importance of learning SQL. You find it um, as an advantage for you, because one of the things that Power BI has is that it can connect with multiple data sources. So if your data is in Excel, fine. If your data is in an SQL database, I think like Rashid was talking, I said they run scripts in their SQL scripts in their company for analysis and all of that. Right? You could just pick your data from directly from the database. If your database on the cloud, or you probably have to connect with it, you can just pick it up and connect with it directly into your Power BI straight up, and you are good to go, right? So you've just gone to SQL, do arrange your data in the way you want it, then bring it into Power BI. So you can, I think I should be able to see, yeah. So here, of course, I mentioned that the cloud service, right? This is not the cloud, this is not the premium, this is a free one, but it's limited. It's limited in a way. So I can only paste manually or enter or publish data, which is there's a whole lot more. So what I'm going to do now is so to get started with Power BI, first and first, you need to install it, right? So I think I have the link somewhere here. Yeah. So what I'm just gonna do is I would check this. So the actual process, right? So in case you get lost, I'm going to try to drop this. But the actual process is probably go to Google and type just Power BI desktop. Power BI desktop. You can add downloads or just say Power BI desktop. Then you're going to see downloads Microsoft Power BI, and you can click on that. So that will take you to their page. Then you can see here you have BI desktop, BI mobile, Microsoft on premises. But what we are more interested is this. So you click on download, and that will try to download this straight as it's trying to do. But you could now, depending on the configurations of your system, you might. So here is using the other link, using the advanced download options, right? So if your system is a 32 bits, um, this this one with 64 will not work. And if it's a 64 bits, well, but the advantage is most systems are 64 bits. So you probably don't need to even know about it. All you have to do is just download. Then I think it's system requirement. So Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, so and Windows 11. Yeah, sorry. So Windows, which Windows will not work? Windows 7 will not work. So if you're on Windows 7, you probably need to upgrade your system. Then, yeah, then install instruction is very easy to install actually. I might not be able to show you, so probably what I would do is I would well, let me say okay, I'll probably do like we did with SQL. I would take a video from YouTube, one that I'm sure that actually works, and I'll send it. But it's actually very easy to install. And yes, I forgot, Power BI is a bit large. It's around 400, 450 megabytes. So you might need to download. You might need to. You might need a little bit of more data. So that's close to like that's half a gigabyte. So yeah, it's actually heavy. But the good thing is when it enters, once you have it, you have it. It's not going anywhere. You can do whatever you need. You don't need to go to the cloud again. Once you download it, you down. Unlike me now, I have to be online to use the desktop. Of course, I'll try to use the interface. But of course, I'm going to try to uh, work around it and see how I'll install it on my system. Or like I mentioned earlier, I'll just get another laptop and use it for the class. So yes, so you can just go ahead, click download, and you pick one you want to download. There's no there's no point downloading the two, right? So you just pick one and you hit download. So it's going to go to wherever wins you have with downloading. So this is what I use. So I'm just going to skip it since I have it already. And let's see, yeah. So that will get you started with Power BI. So I can drop this on the page. Um, so I've dropped that. Yeah, so you can just go there and if it does not, I'm sure you'll find you should be able to download it. So I don't think anybody should have issues like we did with MySQL that we had to move from PGAdmin to MySQL server. So it's very easy to use, very easy to install, right? Of course, when you install it, the interface you get would be similar to this, but yes, I will use the word similar. It's not the same thing. It's only similar. Um, it's more similar. It will look more like your online, sorry, like your offline versions for Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, other Microsoft apps, right? So it's going to look more like that, and you can just install it and get started with it. Um, so okay, maybe I should take questions if you have anything you want to say. Or does anybody even have experience using Power BI here?
Yeah, for me, yes.
Oh, awesome. So you're going to find this very easy, I guess. Gonna be like just maybe let me say revision.
Yeah, at least as you know, everything, anyone has his own perspective in terms of any application. You can't say you have exhausted, but definitely all the things will be useful to me and advance my knowledge.
Yeah, that's true. That's learning for you. So even if you've probably known it before, even if you've probably known it before, right? Uh, there is still room for learning new things. You can't know it all. So yeah. So let's just look up a few data and get familiar with what Power BI looks like. Oh, I don't have importing the data from here. It's a bit. That's not what I tend to bring out. Okay, I hope I'm not coming here. No, this is where I'm coming to. I'm supposed to have more recommended things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Explore this data story. Okay. So this is this data story. Yeah. So basically, it's called storytelling. So in case you hear about um, storytelling, you come across it. So I think we haven't stopped talking about data terms. So maybe I'll start, or maybe as from next week. So data storing is um, something. How should I explain data story? So data storing is basically telling a story using data. So um, you want to um, let you're going to probably have some audience. I'm sure we are all familiar with the word stakeholders and da da da. So you're going to probably have some audience, and you will need to communicate your insights that you gain from your data, your analysis. So to communicate that, you don't want to communicate it in a technical way. You don't want to be saying technical terms they wouldn't understand. That would be jargons to them. So you want to communicate it to them in one thing that works best, that work better is visualizations. So when they see things they can relate to, and you're using that to explain the insights you have gained, that they will understand better. They will have more insights to what you are talking about. So basically, that's what data storing is basically. So it's about using images, graphical, yeah, images. I'm going to say graphical user images, charts, graphs, and thereabouts. And mind you, so one thing I did not mention is I think Power BI has over 100 charts that you can use to communicate. I think in the previous one I displayed, we saw something like there was like two inner circles. Like there was one, there was another one. Um, yeah, this is another one again. This is more of like I think I've forgotten what it is called. So it basically just shows you the distribution, right? It just picks, for instance, you can see this is 94.66. You can see the color that it is from highest to lowest. So the intensity is actually from like high to low. So easily you can see that, oh, um it looks like this is Middle East and North Africa. So you can see 49.58. You can see here 94.66. So you can see how, and you can see the way it moves from here to this place, then here next, then this, then this, then this. So basically I could say from here to here. So that's one chart. I think we are familiar with this chart. But you can see one thing that was added to this was You can see the numbers, the figures are actually there. It's not just the line itself. The figures, and I think I can send this to everyone to see. So you can just open it up on your system. I'm not sure, but you can check it. I don't know. Maybe you need an account. Currently, like I said, I have an account, Microsoft account. So you might probably need to create a Microsoft account to just visualize this. So you can see, for instance, now, this is saying how equals is the world in 2020. So this is about gender equality. So from I think between male and female. Yeah, so it's basically, so you can see there it's understanding. So it is like a report of a gender equality data about from the WBL in 2020. So you can see this, and for if saying this basically shows that it's right. It's a report. You can see where the data was gotten from. So you could take this and try to do something around it. Maybe if you see that this person did not create, um, if the visualization is not appealing enough, you can try to create your own. So you can see this person actually did a good job in explaining what these are, right? So the things you need to pay attention to, the indicators that um, that needs to be looked upon when you're looking at gender inequality. Sorry, gender equality. I missed that wrong. So so you can see the index. You can see this. I don't really know, but okay, this is from to 2020, right? So I think said 90. I told them 71. So the data actually is from 1971 to. That's a lot of data, anyways, right? So data exploration, data. I would have loved to show us more, but like I mentioned, this using the online platform is not going to work for me to use, so I'll probably have to install it. And yeah, so with this I would creating a new report. Maybe I want to just, let's say, sample reports. I can't do that because I should have published the data sets, which I don't have. I've not done. Paste the manual data, and which cannot work. I can't paste data into this space manually, but there are other options. So if you are using, if you downloaded, if you have the desktop version or you've downloaded before, you've seen it, there are other options that can probably pick data from your from your laptop. So you could just select and download, import it directly, like we have with SQL. Or you could pick another one. I think the other one is connecting to your data sources. So if you have your data source in SQL, you have it in CSV, you have it in Excel, you have it somewhere on the cloud, you can connect to it and import it and bring it to your. I think there was an instance of, I was talking to a friend where they picked the, so the data was actually very large, right? So what they had to do was go through SQL first, because picking the data and put it into Power BI was I think that's the error. I've explained what big data is. Big data is large volumes of data where you have petabytes, and as big data like that. I think I've forgotten where the person was working with. So I think let's look at Amazon, for instance. Amazon, they have a lot of outlets, a lot of things, so they probably have a lot of data. So something like that. So the person wants a visualization in Power BI, but whenever she brings it into Power BI, it was so large, right? So what she had to do was use SQL to pick only the relevant data from data source. So let's say she wants just maybe 2020 to 2023. So she was able to do that with SQL. So rather than first of all maybe take it to Excel, Excel will not even respond. You see not responding, so it won't even respond. So rather than do that, you have to do just take it to SQL, break it down, store it, then use Power BI to connect with it, then import it straight. And that was how she was able to bring her data in. So uh so that I've explained the sources and just moving around. So what I really intended us to do today was just look at the examples that we have here. Nothing serious, and can just wrap it up from there. But I'm really not happy that there's a we couldn't do much. I can't explore some of these data um, effectively. Uh, see, I've even downloaded the Power BI desktop and see maybe it will work, but it didn't work. I wasted my data. Let me see. Okay, so this is another data set. Um, the ranking of sports. Um, so this is supposed to be like a sports data as being ranked by difficulty. So how difficult it is to use to actually engage in that data. So if you look at uh, we have boxing topping the list. Of course, boxing is boxing, ice hockey, and football. Where is it's supposed to be? Okay, rugby is here. I feel like this is like the most hardest of all because they get to use their heads, they get to use their legs, they get to fly around, big stuff, and all of that. So you can see here we have the data ranked, and the lowest here is fishing. So fishing is actually a sport. Wow, I'm surprised. So fishing is a sport and it's actually the lowest. Okay, I would have said board games, but those are not sports. Maybe okay, they are not sports. But they are games, anyways. So this is um data, and if you look at these parts, you can see agility, analytic, durability, endurance, and all of that. If you look closely, you find out that the colors tally with what you have here. So this all this together makes up all you have here. So you can see that for let me come to the first place. Let me see. I saw one. Yeah, sorry. So for this data now, if you look at this swimming now, you find out that this middle part is being extended a lot compared to what you have up here. So you can see that you need a lot of endurance. That's one of the things that make this up. I think I can filter based on just swimming alone. Although I don't have much here, or you can explore what we have in the rest. So let's say we want to explore sports. Now, this that you are seeing here are links to another report. So if I click here, it will take me to another report, whereas that report is simply just here. So if I change this, you find out that the first one we had was degree of difficulty. Sorry, hold on. I clicked this, but I changed it to this already. Yeah, so the degree of difficulty. So you can see here we have compare sports, we have difficult skill, that's it should be this, and data table here. So like creating links, can just see how superb this is. No stress. Here we have boxing. Oh, so you can see the number one versus number two. I'm sure for people that play games, you probably see something like this. So this is more of like I think it's more of like a spider's plot, right? That has different this is a way of visualizing the what makes up what makes boxing number one, right? So you can easily see that compared to this, this has more agility than this. Boxing, ice hockey needs more agility than um boxing. In terms of strength, you can see that this is actually very high. So you need more strength in boxing than ice hockey. So this is like a very good way to compare the two data together. Of course, this is there, right? But the visualization makes it way fast. So looking at badminton and billiards. Of course, billiards. I think billiards is pool. So you can see billiards. You don't really need much, right? There's nothing. I can even change this. I can compare. Let's say let me compare basketball. Oh, sorry, this is baseball. I meant to choose basketball. Okay. It's coming up. Basketball. So you're going to see how the both compare now good. So see basketball, see billiards. With looking at this chart alone, you can easily tell, oh, looks like the only thing that this has is analytical aptitude compared to this. So if you now need to see, if you see that they are close, you can now come here and say, oh, okay, this is 7.38, this is 5.75. That means the analytical aptitude in basketball is still way higher. So that. So just wonderful looking at this. And so this is sports degree by difficult. This is going to differentiate it by the skill. So soccer needs is the highest, stopping in agility, analytical, that's auto racing, durability. Yeah, boxing, of course, you need it. I feel like endurance should even be boxing. So you can see how the all varies. So these are just, like I said, don't forget, yeah, like over 100 visualization tools with Power BI. Then here you go with your table. So we also have table. So it's not like tables, you can't view tables, you can also view tables. I think we did something similar to this in Excel, right? So we can um put colors to, I think what we did was putting colors, yeah, intensity. So the higher, the thicker the color, the lesser, the um the lighter the color. So basically, that's just Power BI for you. You can visualize, do anything, whatever you can think of, bring it. Power BI will do it for you. So I think I'll just stop there for Power BI. Then maybe next week when we store, we can now go ahead to um, start doing some interesting things with Power BI. So yeah, I'd like to take questions now. Are there any questions? Go back to the home page. So any questions? Kingsley, Tito, Hebami, Lakunle, Abdurrashid. Do you have any questions? Okay, it looks like there are no questions.
So so far, I think you have given us the overview, and we are very glad to see it. And as we said, it's very interactive and it's very interesting, and it's more of graphical. So I believe everybody will enjoy it when we start the mentor.
Yeah, you just be dragging and dropping shit. Sorry, it's just going to be.
You need this DAX or some, but I think it's in overall.
Oh yeah. So like I was saying, it's just going to be drag and drop. You are going to be your life will be very much easier. But one thing I think might be an issue, not really like an issue, is just like for me, I have difficulties understanding colors, like how to blend colors, what's choice of colors to use. So that's one of the reasons why I don't really like um doing Power BI. I prefer to analyze. Just let me analyze. So like we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Well, what one thing I try to do is I try to look at more. I go online, for instance, Twitter. I'll just search Power BI visualizations. You can just search Power BI. Then I'm going to see a lot of beautiful visualizations, and I can now go ahead to say, okay, I want to create something similar to this. So by the time I look at maybe four people's work or five people's work, I'll begin to get inspiration of, okay, maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that, maybe I can do this. So that's for me, yes, that's one of the issues I have. But I'm sure some of you here, you are very good with colors. I don't believe you should have issues. You are very, very creative. Yeah, very super creative. So I don't think we should have any issues with Power BI. So I think before we just call it a day, I wanted to show. So I think the last time I was trying to show ChatGPT, I don't know if I was able to show successfully, but then so basically ChatGPT is an AI tool that we can use to interact to get, how should I put it? It's an AI that you can chat with whatever problem you have. Don't let me put it that way. Whatever simple or casual, not sensitive problems, right? I mean not personal problems, or but I mean maybe technical related problems. You need to do something. Um, ChatGPT is something trying to create. Why is it not creating? Okay, so chats. I think the link is chats.openai.com. Don't mind me, I know it off heart, so I prefer to just type it from my head. So this is it, and I have an account. So probably if you are just getting started, you probably need to create an account. So you connect it to your Google account. Probably need your phone number. Yeah, there was a time they were flagging Nigerian phone numbers, but I think we are way past that. So you can use it for anything out of sensitive issues. So, for instance, now the queries that you're writing, and let's say, okay, um, what example should I use? So, write a query. So, write an SQL query to extract um write an SQL query to extract information from a particular column. So let's just say a column data, right? And press enter, and here it is. I'm getting result already. You can see how fast and simple it is. So it didn't even know what I'm talking about, right? But it just created something. I can start from select. So seeing this now, some of us are like, what is substring? It's not a big deal. So can easily see what it's doing. Concats, as this ones, I think you are familiar with lower trim, remember trim from Excel, extracts. So this is more like, okay, I mentioned that it is English like. So extract, you probably need to extract something, right? So you can see year from date column. So probably trying to extract year. And I already showed us another way to do that. So this is select case. So this is a conditional, familiar with this. So basically, it's okay. So I think what it did is it just gave me a few things, a few examples, because I was not precise enough. I only said write an SQL to extract information from the column data. I didn't specify the type of information I want to extract. I didn't tell it the type of column data I had. I didn't even specify the type of SQL servers I was working on. So it's something that we can work with easily, interact with. For instance, now, so um, for some of us that we might encounter something, so let me just pick this. So this is from one of the data we worked on. So I'm going to paste this into ChatGPT and I'm going to say, um, explain this SQL query. And so what I did here was I used Control Enter. So I heard Control on my keyboard and I no, sorry, I think that was not it. I think it was Shift. Yeah, Shift Enter to create a new line. Then I'll put it down here and I'll save and submit this. So you're going to say, so it says, okay, still running. Let's wait for it to finish. Okay, so it's done. So you come here, you say, the SQL query retrieves information about tagged photos on Instagram, including details about the tags, the photos, the user who posted them. Here's the breakdown of the SQL of the query. So the select clause, this part, da 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 da. From so you can see that it basically gives you the breakdown. It explains everything. So in case you encounter one big SQL code like that and you don't understand it, just copy it, open your account on this platform and drop it there. I believe we should, if some of us should even know it already. Some of us must have been using it. I think I use it quite early this year a lot, but I I reduced it because I was working on new. It was a research project, so I couldn't. It wasn't much help. But for your daily, day to day, something simple, you are encountering something. It's AI, right? And uh, if whatever you are doing is not beyond 2021, I think, yeah. So the information, every information from when internet started to 2021 is currently on this. But any information from 20, any new information, right? New information. For instance, now let me see what's his name from 2021. I can't pick. Yeah, sometimes. Okay, yeah. Let me see. So let's say, tell me about iPhone 15. iPhone 15 came out yesterday. Was it yesterday or last week? Sometimes I think this week. Tell me about iPhone 15. iPhone 15. So can you see? Um, he has no information about that. Can you see the last date is September 2021. But if I say, tell me about iPhone, this just to describe to let you know that he has knowledge up to 2021. So I think that should be iPhone 11. Yeah, so you can see that it has information. So it's like every information on the internet till September 2021. So it's currently on this platform. You can see upgrade to plus. I wouldn't advise doing this unless you have money, because I think it's $20 per month. That's about 20. That's about 17,000 naira. If you convert to naira or plus. These has up to date models, up to date information, and it's even more crazier. So yeah, so you can use this for your day-to-day activities. You can use it while you're facing a while you're having blocks when you're working in your SQL, or maybe you need to do something. You need to even create, even with Power BI itself. You can use this to interact with. Just interact with it, and but then mind you, there's an information I like to pass across while you are using this tool. So I think there's somewhere where they usually state. Oh yeah, so in this last part, let me see if I can. Yeah, this last part, this lower part of the screen, you can see free research preview, and ChatGPT may produce inaccurate information about people, places, or facts. So that's one thing you should be careful of. So not everything it tells you will work. You probably need to just study that. Oh, for instance, now I'm saying x plus. Sorry, let's do something I saw online. 2 plus 2 is what? So I'm saying 2 plus 2 is what? It says 4. I'm saying but my mom. So let me use teacher. But my teacher um said 5. So in traditional arithmetic, the sum is 2. It is fundamental. Da da da. If your teacher said 2 plus 2 is 5, it might have been a mistake or something. You have concerns or questions you have been taught. It is actually 5. I understand you might be referencing. So there was a thing I saw about it that it just kept on saying, and when the person did this, that my teacher said it's 5, it automatically just said, oh sorry, 2 plus 2 is actually 5. So not everything that it generates that is accurate, but it helps you to start from somewhere. So just a caution when you are using it. It might not produce accurate information all the time. So when you get something that's not working or is not correct, don't get broken. Don't say that, oh, it's not working. It has been stated here already. So just be careful when you're using it. So I think, yeah, that's what I just wanted to say about charts, about that anyways. So yeah, do you have anything to say about that?